All right, hi folks. We're going through ladder drill part 2 here, and I am switching the camera from one device to another that's a little more stable. Thank you for watching yesterday. I'm hoping, I'm sure this Scott's going to be just as good today. And we are just balancing, making sure we're shooting nice. Ooh, this is so much nicer. This one. Ah, there we go. I just want to be able to get that in front of those ladders. And I think we're looking good. So Sir Sadb's running footwork part 2.
All right. So we got a smaller crowd today, but everyone of you was here yesterday. So we're going to take advantage of that, and you'll get to try a few more things and have a little more individual attention. But first, we're going to do a quick recap of all the things we talked about yesterday, just to get it all back in our minds. So you're all done for about 2 seconds. Keeping 2 stance. Get our feet in our stance, and now we remember we tuck those hips under. Find that nice vertically set. Experiment with moving around to try and find it. Everything on top of each other. Tailbone pointed at the ground. Happy squat. That little happy squat you can stay in all day.
I got it. Yep.
Try shifting around again. Keeping those hips tucked as we go forward. As we go back.
It came on.
Nice and straight.
Yep.
Shit, it's caught it.
Turn around and face.
Yeah, we were just, sorry. We're showing here.
The camera had already seen it.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll notice even though you did it, came forward and pushed it out. So you got that? Now we're going to see if you remember all of our terminology. We're going to remember what a gather step is for our purposes. Apart, and then back to stance. Not together, stance. And shuffle step. Inversive step. Come together, and then back apart. Crossing step, cross over. Really sideways. Passing step is our crossing step going forward and backwards. It's just walking. We remember through all of this, try and keep our weight in the balls of our feet. We don't want to get flat-footed on our heels. Using that nice vertical step. And as we move, try and keep everything at one level. Not coming up, straighten our legs, and then come back down. All of that good stuff. So, real quick, especially when you're in a small group, we can afford to do it. We're going to run through the ones we learned yesterday, and you're all going to also get a chance to try this backwards. Because we're using the ones that don't trick you to get. Our first one was 2-foot run. It is just a big long series of small gather steps. Took a foot to lead with. Especially for this one, it doesn't matter if you're exactly landing in the boxes, so you shouldn't need to look down. To get a little more down, I think it'll help.
Have you done both?
Come back and do it again with the other foot if you haven't already. And then, just like Ronis is showing, give it a try backwards.
Pick your other foot. You get down a little bit more and it actually pulls you. There you go. Exactly. That's the feel of doing it. back, leaning forward a little bit. So remember, the best way, because a little bit if you do this, your hip will shift out. It changes your angle of your shoulders. Just drop this butt into nowhere and make your shoulder.
Okay. What's this?
It will literally pull you into that next step.
I rolled in.
So you shouldn't be pushing with your feet.
As slow as you can.
Yeah, it changes the difference, doesn't it?
The next one we did yesterday, getting into a gather step, going side to side now. This was our basic skier. So one foot in, one foot out. We're gonna just open out to the side. Our stance. Not feet together, back to stance.
We just put the ladder to go first. Remember, we're following this. Focus on not pushing what falls. So a lot of times I'll even point into a corner and fall into that corner. Start leaning. Right there. That's the fall.
Sit back like you're sitting into a chair.
Yes, I know. Come on over here.
Shoulders stay up, chest stays up.
The idea of this is it's one beat instead of
Six in the shuffle again.
yeah. But now
What you can try is just in one place without going down the ladder.
sometimes I'll
Practice that fall straight sideways.
but sometimes I'll just be like,
Once you get really comfortable just doing this back and forth, then it's easier to let it go this way a little bit.
all right, backwards is a little harder, but the same thing. I'm almost pushing back. I lean. I sit, 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 sit.
We're going to show the camera what I was just showing someone off to the side here. You're struggling with the side to side while going backwards. So what you can do to simplify this is eliminate the forward backwards part. Just get comfortable doing that straight side to side. And once you're really comfortable just doing this, then you can think about shifting your weight slightly backwards while you do it.
Now, what part you're shifting?
My hips and everything above it. I am thinking about my hips. Everything else is just traveling. That was the wrong step.
Exactly. See how you're just falling into those positions?
You can't even do it without spilling your drink.
I can because I drink it down here first.
Well, ideally,
All
you're
right.
keeping your torso level.
So the next one we did yesterday was the wide skier. So that
You're already there. Just click this side.
but instead of starting in the ladder, we're starting a little further this way, getting down a little lower so that we can get even more distance. Push off with our toes at the very end to get that extra little oomph. Go all the way across. Especially with this one because of the travel. You can see my body moving before that foot ever picks up. So we're going to do it forward, and then everybody's going to try it backwards as well. Remember, don't bring your feet together at the end.
Only try to keep the knee kind of vertical when you
No, Andrew! Grab your stuff. I get this. Get your gear up, get your inspections. We'll do an inspection, we'll talk to the mister.
Oh, nice! Nice! Yes! 100%! Yes! Yep, and I was in range. I was stopped.
Especially going backwards, you're kind of reaching with that foot, probably because it feels uncomfortable. Go ahead and leave the foot on the ground. Let the weight shift. Got it.
Yeah, add a little bit more.
Here you go.
Oh, I was using that type of one. Yeah, so that's.
Last week yesterday, we did our shuffle step.
Yeah.
Going down the ladder, so we learned shuffle step, our feet come together and go apart. We're going forward down the ladder, not ladder. Instead, that foot comes right in line forward. If they were sideways, they'd be touching. We're here, and then apart. Front, apart. It's a small little step. You'll note I'm not moving, like my body is only going from one line to the other. It's not real big. Small little feet. And when we do that one backwards, because we're going to do it backwards, that step just goes behind.
Bend your knees a little, it'll help your...
Let's do it forward first. There we are. So just take this one, put it in front of that one.
If your feet don't know where to go, and kind of forget about the rest of the stuff, and just make sure just work on the feet part. Once your feet know where to go, add back the mental checklist.
This one you're not going to kick the foot out when you walk forward. You're going to step in.
Tempos like badam, badam, badam.
Back to first step. That was the gather step.
All right, back. In back to your foot. Yeah, there we go. Back foot. There we go. Back foot. Nope, there we go. Yep, foot outside the ladder all the time. There we go.
I'm going to trip over myself. I'm trying to do it backwards.
That's fine.
Nope, that's a gather. So
A
again,
note for the friends online. As we're seeing, if your feet don't know what's happening and you're struggling to do it forward, you don't have to try it backwards yet. Keep working on it forwards until it's comfortable. While everyone else does a backwards run, do a second forwards run. Whatever works for you.
that's okay.
All of these are adjustable to match whatever level you're at right now.
Do a flip. Okay, so here you are. Behind. Behind. Out. Okay. Outside of that. There you go. Good. Outside ladder. Outside ladder. Outside ladder. It doesn't matter. You can switch and hurry up back. There you go. All right. So this is once you get this practice, you're going to be, it's much easier. Remember, a lot of this is just teaching you how to do it the first time.
Yep.
And the reason why we're shooting all this video, right? The reason why we're shooting all this video is so everybody get a chance to really practice it.
All right. He's going to do his backwards run, and then we're going to go into our first new one of the day. Prepare to get confused. 45.
That's Thursday.
So now what we are going to do is a drill very creatively called the three-step, because there are 3 steps here. So we were just doing our shuffle. So we all know how the shuffle works. All we are going to do is we're going to add a step to the front of it. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to take the foot that's on the ladder. Let's do a step forward. And then I'm going to do my little shuffle across. So that was step 1, 2, 3. Now I'm set up to go on the other side. This one naturally switches feet every time. So you will not be ending in your perfect exact stance. You will be stitching. So now the left foot is back. Step 1, shuffle 2, 3. Now this foot's ready. The one in the ladder is the first one to move. 1, 2, 3. Now the other side. 1, 2, 3. So it is, yeah, it's a passing step forward, and then you just do a little shuffle across.
This end, to give everyone an idea, do this with me in front of you over here. The idea here is if we're farther away, she has to make that forward step. And then she just essentially make that forward step, throw, and then change. Angle change, and you're offline. That's why we do that. And in general, this is specifically agility, but that's how it's related into fighting.
So, these guys that have been doing this for years, they're going to show it faster.
Yep, so go
You
with
are
me.
perfectly welcome to try it at the speed I was just going. To figure out where you go. When we first learned them, we did the same thing. We stared at the ground and went, and then stepped with the wrong foot and redo it all.
So the one in the box.
Shuffle forward, forward, shuffle across.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
So the great part about this coaching all by itself is you've already done both sides. You've done left and right. But you can still do it backwards. And this one is less scary to do backwards because it is pretty much the same. You're just stepping backwards instead of forward. So when the ladder steps back, nope, step straight back first. Then shuffle. Yeah, straight back with the left foot, shuffle. That was it. That shuffle. Step back, shuffle. Lost your balance. Step back. Yep. Got the idea. So, the friendly reminder with these, as we're starting to do these slightly more complex back and forth movements, our weight should stay centered between our feet. I take this step, I shuffle across. The whole time, my weight is in the middle of my feet. So when they're together, it's just straight up and down. When I step out, it's here. I'm not here. This is what we don't want. Now I can't go back that way if I need to. So you don't want to overshoot and end up here. Conversely, we don't want to keep our body in the middle and say, ha-ha, ha-ha. Just stick our legs out to the side. We want to be centered. Okay, so since we're having so much fun with shuffles, we're now going to do the also creatively named 4-step, which is it's just 2 shuffles put together. We start to the side of the ladder. I shuffle 1, 2 into the box, 3, 4 out the other side. Do it at a diagonal to go to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ultimately, what we want to do here is it wants to be one smooth motion from here to the other side with 4 quick little steps underneath. My head should look like I just took 1 step. I want to go flat, smooth, not. If we start here, we start here. We have to find our feet. But what we're working towards is one smooth motion, 4 little steps. And it's only 4 because it's a ladder. Realistically, the ultimate goal is to do it infinitely sideways forever. These all the way down the ladder.
And really, it's funny that you are holding glass, but if you really want to test yourself on how smooth you are, fill that glass and see how much is spilled out.
Yeah, like I keep drinking out of mine, so it's kind of cheating.
That creates smoothness. Because even if you're not smooth, you're doing the exercise right and you're not smooth, you get jolts. So your water fills out to the side to side. 1, 2.
Drop step in, drop step out. Got it, got it.
It's together because I stepped out there.
All together. So this is a good one.
I know.
Right? And this is that same thing. You notice I end in something that's like dancing. This is all gathered, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2.
one that changing to backwards is pretty easy because it's really not much different. It's still just sideways with a tiny little backwards angle. And that would be over step. Again, these are much smaller steps, so people want them to do. You don't have to do giant crab walk. Just be a step.
This really pays off when you're right at the edge of range in a fight. The smaller you get at the edge of a fight, less opportunity your opponent has to catch you in a step.
And the more chances to throw.
100%.
Try it and in the stance. Put your hands up, extend your foot in a straight fighting stance. There you go. So, like you're already
So that brings up another point. Progression you can do with these. Step one is I stare at the ground and figure out where my feet go and how that works. Step two, you can do without staring at the ground. You add your mental checklist. Heel tucked under, get that stance, focus on smooth balance, balance the feet, all that jazz. Once you're pretty okay with that, get your arms up in position. Or better yet, actually hold the sword and shield while you do it. Make sure that you can keep your guard in place and it's not doing this while you're moving. You can keep building these, it's not just learn to do it once. You can keep going until you are basically in a fighter. You don't know what to do with it.
I saw you fighting out there.
So I went to do that. Like when I'm thinking real hard, my hands just go here. A lot of great videos of me doing this. That little demo, we're going to move on to our last new drill of the day. So now we are going to finally do a cross behind. So this one, if we rewind 3 seconds to our 3-step.
Oh, but you're almost like that. Yeah, I fought like 2 nights and
On our 3-step, we step forward, did that little bitty shuffle to get across. As we learned yesterday, crossing steps let us travel further. So I'm going to shuffle over to the edge here to start. I'm going to take a step forward. And now this leg is behind. I step forward, this leg is down in the back. I'm going to just swing it straight across and open back up. Still only 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. The important details on this one are your feet have to stay down in a squat to do it correctly. Otherwise, step, you are straight-legged, or if you're just not paying attention with your feet, as you step behind, your hips will turn out this way. My opponent is over here. This is a really bad place to try and throw a shot from. So I keep my hips turned. Obviously, in the middle of crossing isn't the ideal time to throw, but I can do it if I have to. So by keeping, the more you can stay down in that squat, the easier it is to cross your feet and your knees and whatever while keeping your hips this way. And you'll notice I'm not throwing my heel back with my toes pointed that way. Keeping your toes pointed this way the whole time helps keep your hips pointed that way. So, now that we've had the detail talk, I'll show it again for continuity's sake. Step forward, cross behind, open up. 1, 2, 3. Flip the ladder, step forward, cross behind, open up. Keep those hips forward. Lets you get a bigger, wider travel than those same little shuffle steps got you.
bend your knees more. Yep, that's exactly it.
Back foot steps forward, and sweep behind, open into stance. Yep. Forward, Going backwards is now the foot crosses in front. When it comes to crossing steps, if you take a second and think about it, you will always find that one of the feet is already in front and one of them is already behind. So when you go to cross them, you want to stay there. I'm trying to do a crossing step this way, and I step forward, and now I try to take this foot in front. That's a really big awkward movement. It's much easier to go straight across because it's already. I'm trying to talk to y'all and the camera at the same time. So if I face them, they can hear me, and y'all can still hear me sideways. If I turn sideways, they can't hear anything.
You should probably pump that.
That was the steps. All right.
All right, next one.
That was everything that was on the list for
Okay.
today. So, if you're still interested in more, I encourage you to try them some more. Try some different variations. Like we said, you can try working your way up to adding your mental checklist. Put a sword and shield in your hand, but put a helmet on your head. Once you're pretty sure, you can use the sword you put. However many pounds of helmet is on your head. Tip much harder. And ultimately, we're trying to do this in armor. So it is good to work up to doing it in full armor at least once in a while, just to double check all of that balance.
These are also, Sir Sadb runs these. He'll set up a ladder at his crown before he fights. And these are great in between bouts to warm up, keep warm, keep the movement going, keep thinking about movement. Ask almost any of the people, some of the people that have it, they'll show you how all these steps, like I was showing you here for a second, they'll show you how these steps work with each other. You looked at that little 4-step gathering, right? I'm right there. That's 4 steps, right? All the time, right? Or if I'm way out here, I might be like, wham! Same step. Just like turn my feet. That we'll talk about turning feet later, but that's the same step. So a lot of these are kind of interesting on how they all fit in. We have one that's these.
That's tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll get into quick feet.
Yeah. Tomorrow quick feet's fun because
Yeah,
they suck, but like the jab foot and all of those, they really pay off. We're good. You feel it?
Might be right.
Get the water, please.
I can't see.
Oh, yeah, that's no problem. I don't like to